You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, B&B fans. This is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I want to talk to you about the stunning news that Krista Allen is definitely out at the soap, why I think CBS Daytime fibbed to fans, and the shock of seeing Stephanie Forrester after all this time, and also we'll talk about whether Eric's headed to heaven or back to LA. Let's dig into all this, but if you haven't subscribed, please do that. All right, first, let's talk about the shocking / non-shocking news that Bold and the Beautiful axed Krista Allen. They let her go in October before her contract ended, a year before, in fact. And I have said several times that I expected it would happen, and then in fact, I thought it already had happened. I did a video back, it was like September 11th, I think, titled, Taylor Gone, Was Krista Allen Fired? And that video was made with absolute good cause. She was seen in mid-July, then not again at all until mid-August, and then they brought her back for a couple of episodes in late September and early October, and then her last 3 episodes wrapped in early November with nothing between those. So back to September, I was pretty certain that B&B was in the process of letting her go if they had not already, because whenever there was something pivotal going on, Taylor Hayes was never around. While her son and daughter were going through major issues, she was MIA. And after I made the video and other social media chatter was going on, CBS Daytime issued a statement. So Soap Hub asked them and got a statement from CBS, and they put it into this article titled, Krista Allen Isn't Going Anywhere, which is funny in hindsight, right? And that was dated just a few days after our video. B&B reps told the outlet that Krista was still on contract, so the actress and character aren't going anywhere. And then the outlet went on to call discussions like mine that she was done, quote, speculative reports. So yes, unless you have a stone tablet with things carved into it as fact, it's definitely speculative, but you can also get from point A to point B and figure things out without seeing things written in stone. And the writing was clearly on the wall. I responded back then, even after that came out, and I said that I thought Bold was playing games with their words. I thought they were playing with semantics. I knew Krista's contract was hitting its 2nd year anniversary, like right at October, November. So yeah, technically, when they said to Soap Hub she was still on contract, she was. But I am confident they had already decided to fire her. That's what I think. And I would further speculate they issued that statement to try and calm down angry fans. I have had zero faith in their statement since they made it. And if you listen here often, you may recall I said repeatedly that I was certain she was out because she's been around for nothing important. Most recently, Eric Forster's last gala, his medical crisis, and her kids' heartache over it. So now we are 3 months after that statement where they said she wasn't going anywhere, and that same outlet called it a shock that she was out. Well, I'm not shocked that Bold and the Beautiful fired Krista. I mean, in fact, they fired her a couple, at least 2 months ago, and basically weren't going to let anyone know, even though it had become painfully obvious that she had been fired from the show. In fact, not long after B&B issued that assurance that Krista was still on contract was when they fired her. They told her in October they were not going to keep her for year 3 of her contract, as the Taylor Hayes actress confirmed to Deadline. So mid-September, they said, oh no, she's on contract. She's not going anywhere. And then October, just a couple weeks later, she's fired. That's not an off-the-cuff decision. That's not something they do lightly. That's something they had planned out, in my humble opinion. But what's really weird is they had her do the brand new cast photo. And again, that seems to me like they're misleading fans. Why would you have her in the photo and then fire her? Literally, she said right after that. So why would they do that? It's all very bizarre. And I'm sure it's about trying to manage ratings and fan outrage and expectations. Krista Allen said she was shocked and said it was very hard to stay quiet about it. And she kept expecting like some kind of confirmation to come from the network. And Deadline claims that an insider at Bold told them that Krista was offered the chance to stay on as recurring, but Krista's rep counters that and said she was basically asked to show up to say 3 lines after 2 months of absence. I mean, that sounds pretty insulting to me, but let me know what you guys think. They told her character wasn't needed, and she didn't even get a proper send-off so that cast members could say goodbye. This reminds me of when they they unceremoniously exited Rena Sofer, having Quinn go out to lunch only to never be seen again. They did a similar thing to Wyatt Spencer, just gone without a trace. All right, now let's talk about another possible exit, that of John McCook as Eric Forrester, now that Susan Flannery returned as Stephanie Forrester. I've seen several outlets titling their recaps of Friday's cliffhanger as Eric died today. I didn't see it that way. And yes, I know that bringing back Susan makes it seem like she's there to usher John McCook out, right? First, Stephanie said, it's going to be all right on Friday's episode. But then later she said, oh my God, you're here, you're home, you're safe, you're home. And then to ice the cake and push the narrative that Eric might really be off to meet his maker, they had the whole white light thing, and then they didn't bother to release any spoilers for this coming week. At least not yet, not as of this writing. So here's my 2 cents. As much as Bold and the Beautiful has been jerking us around since July, dragging out Eric's illness, not giving us the name of the illness, and then basically saying oncology, cancer, still nothing specific, then they manifested this non-specific 11th hour cure with no name. I just have to say, I think they're jerking us around again. If you're one who thinks, oh, they wouldn't bring back Susan Flannery unless Eric really were dying and she's there for John McCook's last episode, my advice is to think about just that exact thing, that they would, to make you think that. Consider how B&B has been manipulating fans for almost half a year with this Eric story. If they wanted you to truly believe Eric died on Friday, wouldn't bringing her back be exactly the way to trick you into believing it? And then withholding the spoilers gives them the chance to keep playing games while avoiding what I feel like would be more blatant lies to the fans, you know, like those misleading promos where there's fantasy sequences and just spoilers that are grossly inaccurate, and then telling us Krista wasn't fired when she clearly was. You know, the acting has all been quite good. I will say that from pretty much for me from the moment of Eric's party forward. But side note, I was really irritated that with Eric's kids and grandkids all worried about his fate, that Bold decided to devote, it looked like, about half of its 17 minutes of runtime on Friday to Luna and RJ blathering about their young love. This great love that is developed in about 5 minutes while making out at work and never having been on a date that I've seen. Rant over. All right. But to me, they really abused the airtime and our patience. I would have taken a whole lot more of Eric and Stephanie, or, you know, Zende, Thomas, Hope, Katie, Carter. Why not at least give us a scene of each of them instead of this love fest with Luna and RJ? It is preposterous. So here's my B&B comings and goings takeaway. I feel like the news of Krista's exit as Taylor Hayes should not have shocked anyone. I can see she was shocked back in October for sure, because she had signed a 3-year deal and they cut her after year 2. But for the viewers, the writing was definitely on the wall. They cut Taylor and Wyatt to make room for new characters they're trying to force us to invest in. And meanwhile, where's Bill Spencer? Where's Liam Spencer, who's supposed to be dark and villainous right now, trying to steal Steffi? And as for Eric Forrester, I think maybe he's going to hug Stephanie and then step back away from the light on Monday and back into the living world. I still don't think he's going anywhere, but we'll know soon. Drop your comments below. Do you think Eric crossed over to the other side on Friday and that he's gone for good? Or do you think they're playing with you again? How stunned were you to see Susan Flannery back on B&B after all this time? Be sure to click subscribe if you haven't. Come back soon for more on Bold, because we are here talking soap operas 7 days a week. And as always, this has been Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.